ship, just like Frankenstein. Make your chains, count your days, how to walk the line. Did you say your name was Reverend Road? Never on, baby. Settle down easy. left just like a ghost. So I started out on burgundy, but then I seemed to hit the hardest stuff. Everybody swore that they would stand beside me as the game got rough. Jokes on me, there wasn't even anybody there to bluff. I'm going back to New York City, I do. Indeed, I've had enough.
Check, testing, 1, 2, 3. Oh, fuck it. Yeah. Well, let's do this indeed then, huh? Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? I'm here. I'm here. Whew. It is Friday. It's the 19th. The 19th. That's crazy, man. It's the 19th. That means next week is Christmas. And then, let's see, a week from this weekend, I believe. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Saturday, a week from tomorrow. We're going to see Big Sandy and his Fly Ride Boys. And in 2 days, on Sunday, we're going to see Academy Is. The Academy Is at the Observatory. Totally. Totally. Yeah. Alright, so I'm not awake yet. As long as you can't see me shaking, then we're okay. The camera's not that close. You gotta have a really big TV screen to see me shaking. But I'm shaking. Oh. Yep. I'm shaking like a leaf on a fuzzy tree. Totally. I haven't been doing any guitar playing or singing lately. First off, I just got busy and got sidetracked, and I was hoping to do that here in the mornings, at the very least. And since I was sick the last few days, this last week, I haven't been doing anything at all music related. In fact, the only thing I've been doing this week at all is working on arcade research. And I've printed out my top 100 games. I have printed out my contacts. I have got my contacts here for phone conversations. Now I just need to print out my my script for a phone conversation. I need to write all of that out. All of the questions I need to ask, all of the ins and outs. I need to get it all figured out ahead of time so that when I'm asking them questions, it sounds like I know what I'm talking about, and I get the right answers to the questions that I want. So, there we go. There's that. Been working on that a little bit. I haven't really done anything as far as the channel goes. I fear this next season might be a little bit late if I don't get my act together. Family stuff always takes priority over the channel. So the channel comes second and third most of the time. When I really dive into this whole arcade thing, that means the channel is now going to be fourth and fifth down on the list of priorities. Which is okay, because the arcade would be the most important thing to worry about. Eventually this channel just may turn into a live stream of my arcade at night and during parties, but not during the day when there's just kids there. Mostly the live stream would be of me at the arcade doing arcade stuff. I don't think I'll ever not do this show, though. This show may take on some weird transformities. It may change a little bit. But it'll stay the same, pretty much the same. The same show. Hey, Flashback Friday. There we go. I better write stuff down. Yesterday's important information written down. I know. Enough with the arcade already. Jeez. I can't help it. I can't help I did some work. I went through the top 100 games, and I highlighted games that I liked. You can just make out the highlighter there on the little numbers right there. So I highlighted a bunch of games that I thought I would want to find. And then I searched for them once. I haven't looked in all of the places I could find the games. I looked in one source and priced all of the games on my list. And then I picked out the six cheapest games that I could find. And that, from that one site, those 6 games came up to $17,100. So my budget has gone from 10 or 15,000 up to definitely 25 to 30,000. 17.1 is highball. If I'm going to walk out of there with 16 games, I'm going to get a deal. So 17.1 is a bit high for all 6 games. The prices per game is fine. Along with the 16 or so $1,000 that I'm going to spend on games, I want to spend a couple $1,000s and get a new pool table. Not a coin operated, an hourly rental table. Yeah. So that takes me up to about 20,000-ish. And then we're looking at rent for 6 months, utilities turned on, and getting the place open. So the dollar amount that I need looks like about $30,000. To start a business, that's not a lot. For a guy like me, it's $1 million. So I'm kind of in a quandary. The first biggest issue is there even a place in town that would work for an arcade? The second is, where do I come up with the $30,000? For a few bucks, I can probably fix up my van and sell it and get $8,000 to $10,000. Well, that's a pretty good chunk. I could probably borrow another $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000. But I'm going to have to raise a shitload of money first. So my daughter and I are going to research coming up with a QR code. And then we're going to put that QR code everywhere. I have to come up with a presentation first. So I've been putting together the arcade itself. It's what I call the nuts and bolts. And it's pretty much what's going to be in the arcade. It's not just going to be games. It's going to be more than that. So I split it up into departments. Arcade, video arcade games, table arcade games, cocktail table arcade games, bar arcade games, furnishings, decorations, everything, all the way down to toilet paper and resupplying hot dogs. The games, the arcade games, are what seems to be taking up the majority of the funds needed. The biggest part of the budget are purchasing the first 6 video games. and a pool table. That right there, plus everything else in the arcade, because it's not just going to be an arcade. Out here, that would be kind of foolish to put all your eggs in one basket. So my thinking is to make it more of an arcade slash hangout. So I've got my 6 games. 3 of the games are for $2,500. Galaxian, Zaxxon, and Centipede. Then I have Defender on a table and Missile Command on a table, a cocktail table. Controllers on each side of the table. Those are each $3,000. And then I've got Donkey Kong Jr. for $3,600. That's the big one. That's the draw, right? At first. Eventually we'll have Pac-Man and Tempest and Pole Position and Joust and Galaga and Frogger and Tetris and Dig Dug and that kind of stuff. But for now, my first 6 games are about 17 grand. And that's without making a deal. I also want to get a new pool table for a couple $1,000s. The video games are going to go for $1 a game. And I think I can put extra dudes on the game. You put a quarter in and you get more than your average dudes. Right? That's what I call them. So we'll see. My thing is to keep everything at about $1. That we'll rent balls. We'll rent a table for pool. Eventually we'll have other games that we'll rent. We'll get like some darts, right? And a bunch of board games and electronic games and stuff that you can pull off a shelf and play. You know, you come and you have to rent a set of darts to play for an hour, right? We'll have the dart set up, and it'll be like a 4-pack of darts or something, and you can rent that for an hour. We'll do tournaments, and it will be 10 people to enter a tournament for $10 each, and the winner gets the $100. Just to bring people in. I don't want to make anything off of anyone, except for games and food and that kind of stuff. Nothing real big. And donations. Memberships. Early memberships. We'll do the first year, or 2, we'll do Founders Club memberships. $500 for a lifetime member. Free t-shirt, unlimited play per visit. We'll also do a family founders plan. And for $1,000, you can get free shirts for your family and unlimited family play per visit. So that's as many as 4 people for $1,000 for life. That's pretty good. Annual memberships for $250, free shirt, and you get 25 tokens per visit. Monthly, $100, 1 free meal per week, and 15 tokens per visit. Now, the discount, the school after school program, that is $25 a month, as opposed to $100 a month. You get discounted meals, and you get unlimited free play for the duration of the after school period, from 3 o'clock till 6 o'clock or something. So you get like half price on a meal, and you can play video games for 3 hours, unlimited. We set the balls out on the pool table, we put the darts out, everything is out, everything is accessible for the kids for 3 hours. to ease the concerns of some, there is going to be an on-site security, and there is going to be cameras everywhere. There are going to be cameras everywhere. So along with the memberships and stuff, we also have a lot of stuff in the arcade besides the games and the pool tables and darts and stuff. We got board games. We got board games and electronic games, group games, right? Jenga, Battleship, Life, sorry. We'll do everything. Puzzles, electronic games. We'll also have movies and music and books, magazines. So we'll have a little bit of everything. We'll have some 16mm films to project, VHS, Betamax, DVD, LPs, tapes, CDs, the works, right? So I'm putting this all together and laying it all out so that as I present it to my daughter and my wife, I can fine-tune it so that eventually when I present this to people, I don't get the stink eye. I don't get the, what the hell is he talking about? He keeps going in circles, right? So I need to make sure that everything is worked out, all of my talking points and everything. We're going to have a stage. If the place is big enough, eventually we'll have a music corner or a stage, and we'll have musical equipment. All the musical equipment that we can get in donation. I will put my own stuff out there at first, and then eventually start replacing it with donated items. Video cameras, old and new, they're going to be everywhere to use. I'll have little computer stations set up where people can take their stuff and edit it right there and create videos and upload social media stuff, make their own family videos, whatever they want to do. We'll have cameras and microphones and lights and places for design so people can set up and create things. Somebody just wants to come in and do a monologue from a play. Fine. They just want to stand there and be the Statue of Liberty and recite something. Whatever. I'm hip, man. That sounds great. An art department. So we got a music department, audio video department, an art department, social media department. A lot of different things to do other than just games. We'll have retail space for the artists and the artisans. So they could show up, create something, and then put it on the wall for sale. Big time. So retail space for that, retail space for our own merchandise and vintage items. I want to have sofas and easy chairs, folding tables, end tables, coffee tables, entertainment centers, bookshelves everywhere, really kitschy lamps and lighting, and just, make it a really cool hangout place. Use social media, use street signs, use the community grapevine, any kind of advertising that we can come up with, marketing, right? Anything we can come up with. The radio, we have a radio station out here. I'll use that. Whatever it takes. But mainly I'm going to be using people to get the word across. Once we come up with the QR code at the first of the year, and we have that printed on a bunch of stuff, because that's initially I'm going to have to spend a bunch of money of my own to get this started. So I have to come up with something that I can do or sell. Probably I can't get to the garage sale until March 12th, because that's the first day that it's available without somebody staying in it over a weekend. So I won't be able to do any garage sales until then, and then it'll just be the once, and then maybe in this late spring, early summer. So I'm kind of boned on that. I kind of wanted to do that at the first of the year. Have a garage sale, try to make a couple of $100, turn that couple of $100 into some t-shirts with a QR code and some signs that I can put in a few places, cards that I can leave at some clubs. And I have to put together the presentation that makes people feel like the community needs this. We don't have any place for young people to go and do whatever the hell they want, right? We're just down the street from a park that has a skate park, right? There's a lot of empty spaces here with nothing to do. The kids are at home, or they're out on the street riding bikes and skateboards. And the real bummer is that I see this group of about 6 kids on bicycles and backpacks and hoodies, and they're obviously the school kids from the high school or junior high, because I see them near the high school on their bikes. And the bummer is that they shoot across the street during a red light on their side. And they're just out getting rowdy and getting in trouble. And if there's no place for these kids to go and hang out and be cool and learn how to be cool, they're just going to become assholes, right? And we got enough of that. So I'm thinking, hey, we give these kids a really cool place to stay during their off hours, and have people come by regularly who are positive influences and positive role models. Totally. Artists, musicians, writers, photographers, creators, right? Have those people come by on a regular basis to help with specific after-school programs. If our schools are going to close down twice a month on a Wednesday, or once a month on a Wednesday or something, right? And then if the schools then alternate, then almost every Wednesday you've got schools that let out early. And then the kids don't really have a place to go, except most of them have to stay at school during an after-school program there. And my daughter did that, and she hated it. Sometimes she had to stay there for 2 or 3 hours after school because mom and dad were working. And that sucks. It's your time, man. So maybe they can't go home, but maybe they can go to a place where it's safe and they can hang out and they can learn positive stuff. That's all I'm saying. And if I can just get enough like-minded people or enough influential people who feel the same way, who can then help me to raise the money, that's it. I will send QR code t-shirts to my most influential friends, and then have them help me to their best of their ability, right? You wear the QR code shirt to work and to school and when you go out, and then you have to actively go after people. Look at my shirt. Dude, You really need to do that. So if we've got people who are doing that, and people who are influential, they don't have to tell people what's on my shirt. People are saying, oh, what's he got on his shirt? He's a cool dude. What's he got on his shirt? Ooh, an arcade. Let's do that. So I'm going to have a dinner party at the first of the year after I get the QR code, and I'm going to give that to the people at the dinner party. And that's going to be the beginning of fundraising in earnest. So between now and the first of the year, I need to come up with the money for the QR code t-shirts, and it may just be a handful of t-shirts. Spend $100 and get 20 shirts or whatever I can do. And then beg and plead with people to not just leave them in their drawers. Do me a huge favor. When you take the shirt off, leave it out so that you're prompted to put it back on when you go out again. And please wear them every time you go out, right? Especially if you go someplace where there's a lot of people. Please. If I can get one or two of these people to wear them on stage once or twice, so that's what I'm shooting for. I have to let people know that it's a real thing. It's going to happen, even if it kills me. It's going to happen. And that I can't make it happen without help. My goal is going to be this amount of money. Once we reach this amount of money, we're getting a building. Once we reach this amount of money, we're getting games. Once we reach this amount of money, we're opening. So we're going to have 3 phases of fundraising. Let's get the building. Let's get the games. Let's get the fucking thing open. Boom, boom, boom. My biggest issue is not going to be fundraising. The first biggest issue is going to be a piece of property to pull this off on. It has to be in town with foot traffic, or I shoot myself in the foot and I lose most of my clientele. Most of my people are going to be foot traffic. People walking by going, oh man, it's hot. This looks cool. Look, free waters. Air conditioning. I will have my friends and my daughter's friends coming by regularly just to fill the place during peak time, so that when people show up, there's already people there. I don't want people to show up at an empty place, ever. There should always be somebody there doing something. One person gaming. Doesn't matter. There should always be somebody there. I want to have not just after-school programs, but have the kids who do clubs and groups and stuff, have them come and hang out and do their stuff there. Have transportation for those after-school kids. Disabled people. People who were out late at the bars and stop by to play video games and then can't really make it home. Right? So I want to partner with some kind of local driver or taxi or something, some company that will be on call to take people home at night. If for nothing else, good karma, right? Or a tip. Or, you do this for me and I'll let your kids come in here and play for free. Every time you do a ride, you drop your kids off here for a fucking day, man. whatever it takes to create a sense of community. Have a van for picking up people and dropping them off. Something that is wheelchair accessible, right? It's got to be, it's got to be everybody. So I put together a list of things that I need to get prices for. First of all, of course, is the rent. The top of my list is, of course, that $17,000 or so for games. So on my monthly, the first 1 to 6 months, I need to figure out what it's going to cost for rent, insurance, food and drink, internet, point of sales software, marketing and advertising, machine repair and maintenance fund, arcade cleaning and maintenance, special fund, utilities, a new machine fund, merchandising, fundraising, employee payroll eventually, right? But what I need to do is I need to come up with a comprehensive list of what it's going to cost to get it up and running the first 6 months. Everything paid for or in the bank, ready to take care of the first 6 months, whatever pops up. There are certain things that will be paid for 6 months to a year ahead of time. Liability insurance, rent, and some of the utilities. And the other stuff will be monthly. And we'll just have to make sure that we have enough in the balance for the shit that pops up. As long as you can try to foresee all of the issues ahead of time, we can usually take care of anything before it happens. I mean, I want a camera right outside the bathroom doors, so I know who goes in and how many people go in and who follows who, right? Outside the doors, inside and out, both inside and outside of the doors. So you see people coming in and going out from one door, 2 cameras. There should be no hidden place in there that a camera can't see. And if we can't see exactly what you're doing, we at least know who went in and who comes out of that corner or that area behind a plant or whatever. I do want there to be places where people can go in and feel secluded and comfortable and almost hide. But it has to be safe. There should be no dark corner where somebody could go in and grab somebody and do something that they don't want. There should be no dark corner where people can go in and do things that we don't want happening there. I understand kids, young and old, they want to do stuff and get away with it. And that's fine. I was young. Do it. But do it over there. Go get away with it over there. Come back, hang out, be safe. If you gotta do something stupid, go somewhere else and do it. And then get back, so that nothing stupid happens along the way. When I was a kid, we used to go and leave the arcade and go run around back and get high or smoke a cigarette or have a beer or something. And then we'd get back in there, because we knew if we didn't, that the cops would be around or some bullies would show up, right? Hey man, give me your stuff. So the kids that hang out there should be able to come up to me and say, hey man, we were back there down the street getting high and some bum came over and took our weed, right? I wouldn't resupply their weed, but I would try to look into the situation to make sure that if they're going to go fucking do something, they shouldn't be hassled by somebody, right? Do it in a place where where people can't find you. And if it's a place where people can find you, then you have to be ready to the deal, man. Maybe I would have a place or two on site behind a dumpster where there's no cameras, so the kids know that that's the spot, man. If you're gonna go and do something, do it out in that spot. It's not big enough where a group of kids can hang out and do a brawl or something. It's not big enough where somebody can drag somebody behind there and do some. But a couple of people can go back there and hit on a cigarette. I can see smoke on the camera, but I can't see anything else. You know, I would try to influence the kids not to smoke, not to vape, not to drink, not to do drugs, not to do this, not to do that. But all I can do is be a positive influence. I can't run their lives for them. I just want an arcade. That's all I want. So I am going to take my idea, put together my presentation. I'm going to create a presentation video, and which is probably going to take up a lot of my time as far as the channel goes. Once I have my presentation and my presentation video figured out, I may even put together, once I figure out how big it's going to be, what it's going to look like on the inside, put together a small scale model. So I throw down a board and I say, what does this community really need, right? And start off with an empty room. And then start adding things to this room. You know, kids need a place to do this, and start setting up a little place where there's musical instruments. Kids we also need a place to do this, and then this, and this, and this, and what could bring all of this together? Boom, an arcade, throw down the games, and just create little cardboard models of stuff. That's it. That's all. Simple little presentation. Once I come up with a video presentation that I can attach to a web page where my QR code is linked and I have the donation information. What's this for? You know, what is this for? It's for our community. It's for the kids. There ain't shit out here. You can ask any kid in the area, what's there to do out here? Nothing. So what do? Nothing. Go to school, after school, go home, sit at home, play video games. There isn't even a cool library here. There's a brand new library. Nobody's ever there. Nobody wants to go there. The younger kids, yeah. The older kids, junior high, high school, college, university. And nobody wants to go hang out at the fucking library. That's school stuff. Yeah. So, what's this neighborhood need? This community of 4 major towns, right? And all kinds of little communities in between. It's the Morongo Basin. It's a highway that stretches for, 35, 40 miles, and we're in the center of that. And we're also the tourist draw, right? So we're centrally located, close to schools on this end of town, or this end of the basin. And there's so many tourists. The tourism alone can pay for all of these other programs. Yes, programs. That's what we want to have here. Art and music and after-school stuff and just everything. Anything you could possibly want to do. I'm going to take suggestions. What does this place need? What else do we need? What else do we need? Now remember, we're trying to stay as much in the 1980s as possible. Right? So everything has to look like the 1980s. We're going to try to encourage the artists and artisans and musicians to think in the 1980s. So we'll have a lot of music and video and stuff to influence the people, you know. Let's listen to some older music and then write a song that's got that older music feel. You know, let's watch some old movies and then try to pull off something like that, because we got cameras and stuff. Let's do stuff, right? Let's pretend, let's play, let's have fun. Let's fucking live life. So that's my bag, that's my shtick. I have to put this in a way that not only makes people want to send their own kids there, not just makes them want to come and visit, but makes them want to help make it happen. They can see it so badly. And the fact that it's going to be powered by the young people in the community, right? They should have the say on most of what happens in there. I'm going to fill it with as much as I can so that they have many choices. But ultimately, they're going to be in charge. It's going to be their space. So they're going to run the show. They just pay a couple of bucks to be there, but they're going to run the show. Even the kids who don't pay, they just want to hang out with their friends. That's great. The people who can't pay, we'll figure out a way for them to be able to pay. I'll have vacuum cleaner and a broom and dustpan and trash cans to empty, and, you know, for those who are into it, bathrooms to clean. I'll have a snack bar to run, right? So if they want to put in a couple of hours a week so that they can hang out with their friends and have video games to play, who am I to deny them, right? Every week we'll have positions to fill, and kids can sign up for that. That'd be great, like a hostel, right? Where you get job cards and stuff. They're part of the after-school program, but they can't pay, so they take a job card when they get here. You know. There, I just wiped off the screen. Next. I envision young people helping me to run the place, learning how to repair the machines, right? Having jam sessions, painting stuff. Just so much, so much. And my whole point, the whole goal is to not just bring the past, bring people to the past, but to really just be a positive influence, you know, so that kids should feel good about being who they are, you know. There's no fucking hassles, no hang-ups, no bullies, no brats, just kids, just people. Leave that shit at the door. You want to be like that with your parents? You know what? That's fine. That's your life. But here, you can't do that. So be nice. And I don't want to tell you to leave. That's not nice. How would I feel if I have to tell somebody to leave? I'm going to carry that with me, man. Don't do that to me. Leave your shit at home. Come here and be the, you know, Be who you should be, right? Just be cool. I could do that. Totally. And if I can just get my daughter involved for 6 months to 2 years, depending on how it works, I'll be happy. She and I can build something together. That's all I really want to do, is spend a lot of time with her and build something together. Totally. How can he be a positive influence? Jeez, look at him. Come on. It's not like the do as I say, not as I do thing, right? It's more like, I have experience. Please listen to my experience. Lest you wind up in similar circumstances. You don't want to look like this. Don't do what I do. Oh, geez. Oh, God. Yeah, please, no. I won't. Still a little sick. Getting better. Going to a concert in a couple of nights, and I'm hoping that I'm not still wheezy. And I'm really going to have to get some rest, because I've been pooping out around 6 or 7 in the evening lately. And it's going to be a late night driving out to Santa Ana and back. Oy. Oy. That's alright. It'll be fun. And of course I can chew my daughter's ear off about the arcade. But that's great, because she's good for a lot of back and forth. A lot of back and forth. So I told her the next day that we sit down together and do nothing, we're going to spend a couple of hours researching the QR code thing and figure out the overall best way to do the QR code, and then aim for that by the first of the year. So at the first of the year, we need to get the QR code. And then I need to take that, and we need to get t-shirts right away. And then we need, by the end of the month, we need to get those t-shirts out to people. And have those very influential people trying to find us money for the arcade. Because all they have to do is wear the shirt and get people to notice it and get people to help. And that's just, hey, if you got a couple of bucks, please help. Go here and check it out and help. That's all we need, very politely, for people to ask, oh, if you've got a couple of extra dollars, please help. Please help our community. You know, and have it like, don't say, please help my friend. Say, please help our community. Because that's what we're doing. We're trying to give a place for these kids to go. Eventually, I see a little short school bus that drives out and picks up people up at after school and drops them off. And then their parents pick them up there. And some kids get a ride home. So if I can have a dinner party at some point when I have the QR code shirts and everything's set up to start fundraising, then I might be able to set it up before the end of the year, but I don't want to raise any money until the very first of the year. It's the soonest, because I want it to be its own tax period. I want to have a 1-year tax period that is the beginning of the business. We'll have to open up a joint account with me and my daughter and the company name. And then we'll have to have that QR code linked to that account. So we'll have to have a few dollars to invest in a bank account. And the QR code shirts. And then I can have a party. And I'll have to figure out the inroads of doing my own fundraising on YouTube and Facebook and social media. That's another thing I talked to my daughter about, social media. I said I need help. Not that she knows everything, but she'll help me to learn. She learns quick and easy, so if she can help me to learn things without going through all the crap that I go through, old, analog man here, then I can hit the road quicker. So, yeah, one of those things is going to be figuring out social media, so that I'm on more social media platforms and they're all kind of connected, and I can do things across all of them a lot easier. And that should help the channel, and it should help fundraising. Eventually, there should be, 50, 60 games in this place. Eventually. After the first 2 years, we should be up to so many games. We should be adding 2 games a month. After the first 6 months. 1 to 2 games a month, depending on the price. After I've been doing maintenance and repairs on these video games for a while, I'll be able to start looking into ones that I can buy to restore and get them real cheap, knowing that I can find controls and knobs and joysticks and stuff, right, buttons, and have a little workshop. And then have that workshop a place where the kids help out. So there's always something for them to do. With me, with each other, with my daughter, with their family. They bring teachers by. Every aspect of the community should be represented in there at some point. Totally. So all of this has to come out in the presentation. I'm sorry, I'm in my head right now, and I just whispering, right? That's what happens when I start drifting off. I start having conversations in my head that whisper out. Isn't that great? Isn't that great stuff? This guy's crazy. I'm out of here. He's talking to himself. I almost had a presentation here. Jeez, the guy's presenting. Shut up. Yeah. I'm really getting pumped up about this. And the thing is that if I do this right, the only thing I will need to ask of friends and the community is to just help me spread the word and raise the money. The more people who get involved, the more money is going to get raised, and the quicker we're going to get there. And I need to have it set up in phases so that the fundraising keeps coming in. I don't want to just raise a bunch and then be done. Thanks, we're done. Look, it's a community thing. It is for profit, but it's so that this has a chance to grow, right? My salary, my daughter's salary at first, the first 6 months, is probably going to be nothing. At the end of the 6 months, we'll probably give ourselves some kind of a bonus for the time that we've invested, if there's money. If not, we'll reinvest and we'll carry it on so that eventually she and I are making some kind of salary. That's it. Because we can't do hourly because we're always going to be there. So we have to come up with some kind of salary that doesn't take too much from the business, but makes it worth, especially my daughter's time. I'm going to be building this for its longevity, so I'm looking for the big payout. Once it's just a community staple, then we can then take, okay, look, it's its own thing now at this point. Now we can start funneling off some of this profit into some other community programs, or expand the business to include more community programs. It should be a private company, but designed to benefit the community. Keep it private so that you can keep control of what happens. You start making it a public company and you lose control, and then people just vote you out, and then you can get a little bit of money out of it, but you have no control anymore. So I don't want to ever do that. Keep 100% control of the business and allow others to get involved, even to profit from it, as long as the end goal is to benefit the community ultimately, and to grow, and then help grow the community, period. I don't want just a business that's just a business. If I was getting paid to do this every day or get on my YouTube stuff or the computer, it would be a job and I wouldn't want to do it. So I don't want to get into this to become a rich man. I want to survive, of course. I'd like to thrive, of course. But that's not why I'm doing this. I want to create something that means something that lasts. That's all. And profit and help the community. Right? That's it. Pretty basic. And use an arcade to do that. A central hub for everybody to be able to hang out and feel cool hanging out. You just want to go and paint or draw or something. Come stop by the arcade, leave your ID, grab the paint equipment, walk out across the highway into the field and start painting. Go out into the garden. We should have a garden. Go out into the garden and paint some flowers. You just want to draw? Well, grab some drawing stuff. We'll have little drawing gift packets, little painting gift packets, so when people do stuff really, have you ever done this before? No, I'm just doing this. Well, gosh, you're really good at it. You should do this more. Yeah, I just don't know. Here's a little gift for you. Here's some pencils and, sketch pad, whatever. Bring out the good in people by being good. Doesn't take much, right? Not at all. Top of the hour. Whew. A week till Christmas, right? Less than a week. still not one Christmas decoration in the house. I told you some years it's like that. We just get too busy. We're in the Christmas season. We feel Christmassy. We just don't need the decorations and that stuff to do it, right? I told the girls, I said, I'm going to put Christmas on hold till next year, next Christmas. I really... There's just too much going on all the time, right? When are we going to get a chance to go shopping? My daughter's probably done all of that already. My wife's probably done all of the shopping that she's going to do for the holidays. I let them know, hey, I'm not going to bother to go out and spend money out of our budget on stuff that you may or may not like, right? And if you do like it, it's just only because, I better like this. It's a gift. I hate that. And I've been way off my mark the last few years with Christmas. So, this year and last year, I'm like, don't get me anything. If you can help it, make it something that you always get me, but don't get me anything. I never really liked the idea of buying stuff for people because it's required during a certain time of the year. It always turned me off to the idea of what Christmas was supposed to be because there's so much consuming. Yeah. I hope I don't start talking to myself again. Oh yeah, it happens. It just happened. I get lost in thought, and then I start having conversations with myself or other people, and then it starts to vocalize a little bit here and there, and I start to see everything, like visualize it, like 100% I can see it. And then I don't see this anymore. I don't see where I'm at anymore. All I see is that. And I always thought, when I was younger, I always thought, that's crazy movie stuff. That never happens. You don't just lose yourself in a vision, and it's true. I do. I lose everything around me, and I'm in another place, and then all of a sudden, the two will merge together, and I'll be like, oh shit, I'm here. And sometimes it's just in an instant. Sometimes it happens and it lasts for minutes. And I'm here, but I'm not. Everything has been replaced by a shroud, a vision. That's crazy tough. That's just too kooky. He's crazy. He's a crazy guy. I can't help it. I am... What did I do yesterday? I spent pretty much all of the time on the computer. Well, I played video games for a couple hours. But I spent a few hours working on my list, the nuts and bolts. And now, and writing out the 100 video games, top video games. And all the contacts that I need to talk to. And I'm not sure who I need to talk to first, right? The small business people, my bank, Wells Fargo, because they're a good bank. The tax lady, social services, probably... I should do them all in 1 week. I should just make appointments with everybody and talk to everybody at once and get everybody on board. And say, look, before I change my financial status from poor as a swamp frog, I really need to figure out where this is going to take me and how to deal with that. You know, what's going to happen to my health insurance, and then how do I change and get into keep health insurance as my financial status changes. How do I deal with the taxes? Talk to the tax lady, talk to the bank, make sure I get that whole bank thing worked out, right? Small business counseling, insurance. Real estate. Ugh. That's my biggest concern right now is real estate. I have to find a place to rent that I can lock in for 2 years and pay the first 6 months up ahead of time and get a deal on that. And get a deal for the first 2 years. Figuring I want to be around for no less than 10 years, because 10 years should be enough to take care of the first couple of years worth of life memberships. Because the life memberships, I'll say, look, I'm gonna try to make those lifetime memberships last no less than 10 years. So, the life of the business. Let's hope the business stays around. It's mainly going to be for shits and giggles and jollies and family stuff anyway. So that'll probably change after a few years with most people anyway. People will buy a lifetime membership and then move. But probably use the hell out of it while they're here. Totally. So I need to come up with a rewards system. How am I going to give some kind of reward to people who donate X amount of dollars or more? Squeaky eyeball. I was thinking a brass token on a keychain or on a charm bracelet or something. I could look into ordering a bunch of bracelets, or I could look into making a bunch, right? Find little things little plastic or rubber, or actually probably metal, little metal things that we can use to create a bracelet on that we could then link on a little charm. And that would be your gift. But as a somebody who's donated, you can also come in and show that charm and go on file and start getting some tokens every time you visit. So if you happen to come through the area, even though you don't live here, send it to someone who does come through the area. We'll have gift cards that are like $100 gift cards that get you 150 tokens or something, right? Drifting into the arcade. If I can visualize me running an arcade, you can visualize me running an arcade. So do that. Visualize this guy in his own arcade running it. That would help. So I think it's going to come down to fundraising across many different platforms with the QR code. it's really hard for me to think about advertising, fundraising here in my town for an arcade. So I may have, like they when they're shooting a movie and they have a fake name for the movie so that nobody understands what they're shooting, 3 Days at the Mall, and that was, Die Hard or something. So I need to like brand the whole idea as something else. It's going to be called this something at the end, right? But it's going to be called the arcade eventually. But what do we call it so that people donate to it, see everything there, but don't really put it together that it's an arcade locally? They just see it as a place for everybody to get together, but most especially a place for the kids, right? Because that's what we don't have. We don't have a hangout place for the kids, a place where kids can do kid stuff all day long if they want. All summer long. They get out of school early, they come hang out. They get out of school at the regular time, they come hang out. Hang out all night, get a ride home. Whatever it takes. But I need to present this so that I can raise money in the community here and not have somebody steal my arcade idea, because that would kill me. All it would take would be somebody else with a lot of money to just mow me down. Somebody else who already has a building but has no imagination and then steals my idea. So, and the whole idea of having more than just an arcade. Anybody can have a video arcade and just take a building and jam it full of video games, right? The whole idea that I have is to give you the feel like you're in an 80s world. You go in there and you're brought right into that era by all the stuff that's there, the music playing, the videos on TV, the games, the sounds, the lights, the decorations, furnishings, everything, the works. You're sucked right back into the 80s. And if you've never been there, you get a good feel of it. Good morning. How you doing, Dubs? Or poor people watching, but none chat. Oh, that's okay. I don't mind. You know what? I'm okay with that. Fly on the wall, wallflower, however you want to do it. Good morning. That's okay. That's quite all right. I feel it. I'm happy there's people here. It comes up and down and up and down and up and down. Not a whole lot. Getting excited about going to Santa Ana Sunday and seeing the Academy Is with my daughter. I've been to this venue before, the observatory, and to see Lucas Nelson and Promise of the Real. So, no, I call them wallflowers. And it's a nice little club. It's got 2 stages and an outdoor area and a bar and a restaurant, balcony. I was watching Lucas Nelson and Alice Cooper was in the balcony, so that was cool. It's a neat little place. It's in Santa Ana, so it's a couple of hours drive. But that's all right. I'm feeling better, so. Yeah, it's a band. I have only recently heard of them. Most of the bands that my daughter listens to have been around for at least 20 years. So even though we've never heard of them, they've been around for a while. A long while. They're just different scenes, right? Yeah, when I was seeing Lucas Nelson, he's a friend of the Nelson family, and he lives in the area. So I looked up, and I kept looking up and thinking, God, that guy looks familiar. Because he looked nothing like Alice Cooper. And I kept looking up, and then I looked into his face and his eyes, and I went, oh, fuck. And I looked away thinking, oh, shit, that's Alice Cooper. And I went to my friend, hey, Dave, that's Alice Cooper back there. And he's like, huh? Whatever. Exactly. He's a big golfer. So are the Nelsons. Lucas Nelson, he does that pro-am golf stuff like a lot of the stars. But yeah, Lucas Nelson, he plays golf. He probably plays with Alice Cooper. Totally. But it was funny to look up in the balcony. And I'm like, I asked somebody, can I get a seat up there? And he said, no, that's for friends and family of the bands. And I went, oh. And then I looked up again, and that's when I caught his face sitting right there in a chair next to a table. And yeah, lo and behold, I'm like, oh shit, that's right. That's who that is. Nobody noticed him. I felt like I was the only one who noticed him. We got there early, and it was light in there. And everybody else was busy finding a place to sit or stand and get a drink and all this other stuff. And tripping. They kept tripping over this step that was poorly lit. And in fact, I had to instruct the security guy. Dude, if you're going to stand there, put one leg up on the step so people can look at, as they're walking up and look, they can see that there's a step there, because there's nothing that says there's a step. And people keep tripping and falling and getting hurt. Dude, you're going to have to call the paramedics. So he did. He stood the rest of the night with one foot up and one foot down and a flashlight on his feet. And that was me. I don't think Willie plays golf now, but his son does. Totally. Yeah, his son changed directions with his career and went more to traditional country, which is not my thing. It's okay, it's just not my thing. So I haven't gotten his new album yet. American Romance, I think is what it is. Because he dissolved the Promise of the Real for a while after 10 years. And I think there's still a couple of members in the band. But, yeah. So we're going there, back to the observatory in Santa Ana. And I don't know who's opening. I usually really have fun with the opening acts because they're really eager to meet with people. So I may come home with some autographs or shirts or photographs or something. You never know. Sometimes I really enjoy the opening act more than the actual act. Right? The headliner. That's the in your car that you have to have replaced back in the 80s because it starts to sag. The headliner. Totally. I'm excited. I could have sworn that Alice lived in Scottsdale, Arizona. He probably does. He probably has several places, right? And Arizona, Scottsdale, that's not far. And because he's a California, LA guy, he probably comes out to LA on a regular basis. Because right after this show, Lucas was, and Promise of the Real was going into Hollywood. So it's possible that he was staying with him. I don't know. You never know. I just know that I saw Alice Cooper. That's all I know. Whether it was him or not, or a look-alike, or, because there are some people who have a lot of doppelgangers. Yeah, I love the openers. My daughter, she loves to get there super early, get in super early, get merchandise super early, gotta find a good spot. And because my daughter is so used to shooting right down to the front, I'm confident that she's going to be able to go down into the front, find a good spot, and then be able to come back and forth a couple of times, knowing that she can get right down to her peeps in the front. Because she'll do that. She'll find herself a really good spot right near the artist she wants to be in front of. And it's nice when she can do that. Yeah, they're going to do... she's got concert tickets for the Forum, and she's finally going to get down onto the floor. And I know she's going to be, boom, right there. Her pictures are going to be looking up this time. It's going to be great. So my daughter and I are going to work on social media, QR code t-shirts, and the link and all of that. And I'm going to be working on the presentation. And I'm going to have to meet with a lot of people to try to get this off and running as easy as possible. I know that a lot of these people are really going to try to overcomplicate things for me. So I need to meet with everybody and find out who those people are right away and stay away from them. I just want to deal with getting it open, and then I can do all of the add-ons later, right? Later on, we can get into the point-of-sales software and the internet and all of this other crap. Let's just get up and running. You know, I'll get one of those apps on my phone, and you can, boom, do your card there, or I got a box with cash in it, right? It's going to be tokens anyway. I don't have to deal with a lot of quarters and... Yep, there you go. I leave early for stuff so that I don't have to rush. I rush anyway, but I always leave room for... you never know. I gotta stop and take a piss, and it takes 20 minutes to find a place, right? Accident. Traffic jam, stupid people. You never know. I always leave early. Try to get places early. My daughter loves to do that. She doesn't like to dawdle. So the concerts usually, the gates open at 7:30. The concerts start at 9, right? She wants to get out there at 5. Which means we leave from here around 2. And we don't get home till around 2. So it's a long day for me if I'm not just waking up before we leave, which is what I try to do. I try to stay up a little bit late, and then I sleep in all morning long, sleep until it's lunchtime, and then get up, have a shower, get ready to go, and walk out the door. And then I can stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning. In fact, I come home and I'm pumped up till 4 or 5. I'll probably get on this show Monday morning still awake or having taken an hour nap on the couch. Traffic is okay. In our area, it's more. Just because of the tourism. And then we're a major route, so that if our main freeway gets jammed or blocked, people start coming this way to go all the way out to Arizona, and they'll bypass the 10 freeway. Sometimes they close it down out in the middle of the desert where there's just there's no side roads, there's no rerouting, so they have to block it off way miles down ahead of time at a road. It's going to take you off and up through our area. We have a Marine base out here, which brings in not just the Marines, but the Army and the Navy to train. So we get a lot of convoy action. We get a lot of people, influx of a population, because the base had a lot of transfers for training. Right? This happens. But mainly it's tourism and LA traffic, and what is it? The 405. there's a lot of old freeways were being built in the 50s, and they were designed in the 50s, and they were designed for 1950s traffic. In fact, there are still some freeways that you could drive in LA, Pasadena area, where the freeways are still old. They still have the old little bridges. The lanes on the bridges are really skinny because they had skinny little cars. The houses have tiny little garages with skinny little doors in some of the hills. It's just funny. Okay, so the I-10 is the one that we take because that takes us from the desert all the way out to Arizona and all the way to you guys, or it'll take us all the way to the coast and into LA and Hollywood. So we take the 10. We take the 10 into the 110 or the 147, and then that takes us right over. It's just a small jump from the 110 over to the 101. That takes us right into Hollywood. We're going to take the 10 to the 60 to the 91 and go through Riverside County. And then we're going to drop down the 57 over to the 22 and into Santa Ana over by Disneyland area. Near as we want to get anyway. So yeah, I grew up on all these freeways out here. I can pretty much draw you a diagram of the whole freeway system here in Southern California because I've been on all of it. I've commuted on much of it. I've traveled so many of these roads. So not only can I lay out all the major highways, I can lay out all of the smaller freeways, the sometimes a whole town of roads, and lay out all of the roads. I may not know the names, but I know exactly what the towns look like. But yeah, I've seen the freeway system so many times from a map and from right down in it. So yeah, I'm real familiar with it. I love freeway driving. I do. I could stop. Oh man, yeah, stop. I've traveled a lot on these roads. I like it. They're fun. If I have to reboot my comments here, because totally. The Santa Ana. The winds are called the Santa Ana because they actually come from the ocean, but they blow through Santa Ana, and yeah, they're warm. Santa Ana winds can be warm. There's lots of different, the warm Santa Ana. I never really. Some people would say that, and I'd be like, it's just fucking wind, dude. Yeah, but that's a warm. It's like an Indian summer, right? Dude, it's just a fucking summer. Well, you got to bring the natives into this. I never understood that, but yeah, they do call the Santa Ana winds at a certain time of year, like the El Nino thing. It's just one of those things. I never understood it. It probably has a lot to do with the geography and the ocean and the currents and the ebb and flow of the tides and the mute. Shut up, fucking hippie. Oh, you don't like hippies? I like yippies. You ever been to San Fran? Yeah, I've been through San Francisco a few times. The last time we went there was in '95 when we went to Shoreline to see the Grateful Dead. And we went into San Francisco across one of the three bridges that isn't the Golden Gate. And we went to where that big open park is up on that hill. And after we went to Haight and Ashbury and 710 Haight, and then we went over and did this and we did that, and then eventually we went to the park and pulled off right next to the park and slept in the car. Some of us went outside and slept on the grass and got wet because of the fog, and it was cold. But we woke up looking out over this hill that went down, and all of those townhouses, and then it went off into the fog and then down into the bay. It was really cool. Once I went through there in 1986, 87, and I was with my friend and his father. His father was a correctional officer for a prison, a correctional facility. Golden Gate Park. That might have... No, it wasn't that one. It was one up on a hill. It was a different park. So my friend's father decided that he was going to take a vacation going up northern California into Oregon and back up the coast and down through the desert the next way, right? And along the way, he was going to visit correctional facilities in order to make this a company trip, and he would get paid for all of it, right? So we stopped at 6 prisons along the way, 3 going up the coast and 3 coming down through the desert. Seriously. We went and visited these fucking correctional facilities. Conservation Corps, the camps where they go out and fight fires and make parks and do that kind of stuff. All those weird trees, cypress, right? A bunch of weird trees. There's a park like that in LA on the route of the Rose Parade, and it's right next to one of the Guggenheim museums, right next to the Armed Forces Museum there, that we used to visit all the time when we were kids. We used to go in there and visit it because it was air conditioned and they had free drinks. But so we went and we visited these correctional facilities all the way up the coast and down to California and Nevada and stuff. And that was a hell of a trip because we were on motorcycles. I was on the back of my friend's motorcycle, and my friend was short, like my wife's height, really short. And he was driving this big 1100 Suzuki with me on the back seat that's higher. So not only was I taller than him, but I was even way taller than him on the back because I was on the back seat. It was weird. But we had a blast. My friend's father was pulling a homemade trailer, pop-up trailer that he had made specifically for his motorcycle. And he would pop it open, and there'd be all this gear that'd pull out, all the kitchen, he'd set everything up, and then he'd sleep in the pop-up. And we slept in a tent. And it was really, really cool. And he did this so that he could get paid for it, and he built this trailer for the trip, and he wanted to test it out, and it was just great. It was a fun little trip. And he was a correctional officer. And my friend and I had this 1/8 of Thai weed that we brought with us. And so we was getting high every day, the whole week we were out. It was great. Sometimes we get high on the motorcycle, shooting down the road behind him. We'd just back off a little bit, and I'd zip my jacket up, pull my arms in, right, and light it up. And then I'd get it going. It was like one of those little canister sneak-a-toke things. And I'd get it lit. I'd light it up real good. And then I'd stick my arms out, pop it up, and I'd give it to him. And he'd flip his helmet up. And he'd toke on it. Pass it back to me. And it was really weird because I had to do this with a helmet on. A full face helmet. And the jacket and everything, and I had to pull my big leather jacket up. I had to pull it up and then zip it up over the helmet. So I was literally a headless horseman back there for a few minutes with my arms flapping because my arms were inside the jacket. We could only do that a couple of times because we didn't want to get busted. We went on a trip with him once, and he and I, my friend, the same friend, were in the back of his Subaru Brat, in those 2 chairs that used to be in the back of a Subaru Brat, right? And we rode all the way up to Northern California and back in those seats. And we would do that. He'd light up a cigarette and start smoking a cigarette, and we'd pass the cigarette back and forth. And then down low, we'd be passing this little canister sneak-a-toke, and we'd be hitting on him. And then, we'd take the cigarette and then blow the smoke out. It's pretty cool. Getting loaded with this, correctional officer, prison guard. Funny stuff. That same guy, his brother was an LAPD officer. He eventually had to find us a lawyer to get us off of some fucking bullshit. Yeah. But, yeah, taking trips, man. That was weird when I was young. San Francisco. Totally San Francisco. So on the motorcycles, that just takes me back to San Francisco. On motorcycles, we went through San Francisco, and all we did was we came up the coast, up the one, and went over the San Francisco Bridge. And then after we went over the bridge, we did a little circle down, and we went through a tunnel and came out on the Presidio. And on the Presidio, which is an old naval base, part of the Presidio had been retired, and it was being used as a hostel for bicyclists, right? And because we were on motorcycles and they weren't really busy, they allowed us to stay. So we'd pulled job cards and stayed at a hostel in a room with a bunch of other bunks and stuff, and stayed overnight there. My friend and I went out and walked around out on the track field, and walked around and smoked cigarettes and got high. Walked down to the coast, looked at the bridge. Isn't that somebody jumping? Shut up! We stayed there, and then we took off, and the next day we went north, and we went to Fort something, where there's a military base up there, and we went to a prison that was up there in the woods. I went through a couple of times through San Francisco with my family, but I don't remember those times. Yes, when we were on motorcycles, we went over the Golden Gate Bridge. Yes, indeedy. And it was interesting. I mean, I could look out and I could see the rock, and I could see the bay, and then I could look out and I could see the ocean, and I could see the Presidio where we were going to, and other ships and stuff out there. And it was really hazy in both directions. It was really hazy. But yeah, it was the bridge. It had a weird noise because of the metal grating. It was a weird noise. I think it was metal grating. Maybe it was asphalt, but it had a weird noise. Maybe because it was hollow or because it was a bridge. But we were on motorcycle, and we shot across that bridge and did the little donut turn down underneath and came through this tunnel and out onto the Presidio and stayed there. The doc called the bridge, right? Another Ken Burns one, right? I saw another Ken Burns part of a documentary the other day, and I was like, oh wow, he did one there too. But he's like done so many. We got to look up Ken Burns and then get a list of all his documentaries. I'd like to put them all on a hard drive, and then just fucking binge, right? Put them on a TV in a corner of my arcade. Just non-stop Ken Burns documentaries running. Totally. Oh yeah. I can see it now, man. Because that's some good fucking history. It's good stuff. It's good. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be doing any traveling for a while. really, really, really have a whole lot of stuff I want to get done. Time is short. That's the only way I can think, is that time is short. And I only have limited time on this planet to do stuff. And I really need to get stuff done, right? And then I have to battle through the pain end of it. And then I'm okay. If I can stay up and positive and moving forward and have enough momentum moving forward to get through that wall of pain that hits me, dude, I'm rocking. I'm rocking. Here's where my momentum and pain go down a little bit. It's a balancing act, really. Woo! That's good stuff right there, baby. You get a movie? The Bridge isn't Ken Burns. It was about the people that jump from the bridge every year. I saw that. I saw that. I thought it was the one about... I saw that, dude. That's a freaky fucking doc. To think that it's that, right? You think about the Golden Gate Bridge and you think it's all like America the Beautiful, right? And you think it's like America the Real now. Heavy duty stuff. That's my goal, as I'm going to go end it on the bridge. Fuck that. I changed my mind. Fuck that. That's got to be the first thing that goes through your head when you're jumping off. It's either, oh my God, it's finally over, or I changed my mind. Because anybody who's lived has said, man, I changed my mind halfway down. And then, of course, I lived, and now I'm just a stump that just lays there, a freaking vegetable. So I wish I had. Totally. Totally. Totally, man. Yeah. I can't remember where I saw it. I think it was on YouTube. Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, just to have a place where people, all kinds of people, can come together and share stuff and do stuff. Not just play video games. Video games are fucking awesome, and that's the whole center point, and eventually will be the main theme. But to start off as the community hub, right? So I've got to come up with some kind of pre-production or production name for it. The spot, the hangout, something like that. So that people get the idea, but they don't get, they can't steal it because they're not sure exactly what's going to be in there. But it's going to be an arcade. Ultimately, it is an arcade. So I have to have two presentations. One that's kind of a little vague, but one that is just hits everything right on the mark and explains everything about everything, ins and outs, nuts and bolts. Come up with a way to create a presentation video that I can share that has the QR code in it and that is linked to the QR code and the donation and all the I'm gonna start crying here. I just want an arcade. There's a building in town that's perfect, the old brewery. It might be too expensive because it's kind of big. It's got to be probably a couple thousand square feet. So I'd have to really be able to get a deal on it. And I don't even know who owns it. I'm going to have to look around. There are so many businesses have popped up in town. They've eaten up all of the places. Some places are closed up right now because somebody's already bought it and they're already planning to do something with it. If I can't put it right in town somewhere within walking distance of downtown, I'm going to lose so much business, so much foot traffic. I can't stop thinking about it. Totally. I'm going to have to try my presentation out on someone before I do my dinner party. I'm going to have to create a list, a dinner party list of people I feel are influential enough to help get it across. And give them each a shirt or more, and get it done. I'm losing myself in this. And that happens every time I have a dream that won't leave me alone. It was like this when I got married, right? It was like this when I would go to the Renaissance Fair back in the early 90s, right? I put everything into going to the Renaissance Fair. I made my own costumes, hand-stitched my own boots, grew a beard, did everything I could to become the Renaissance Fair guy, right? Right down to my bedroll and my camp, and everything was of the period. My dishes, cup. I would just live the fucking part every weekend. When I got into my vending business, I went just all in on that. When I did my handyman business, I was all in on that. And once this place is up and running, it's such limited legwork. It's just running a shop and adding and growing. That's it. That's it, baby. I told my daughter at some point I want 5 or 6 games in the middle of a room, all pointing like away from each other in a circle, and then in the center of that circle, behind all of the games, have a tower with some kind of video game thing on top of it. You know, a Donkey Kong or Pac-Man or Mario or something, right? Something up there towering, some kind of central figure, a big light, or have one of those couches that's a circle right? A complete circle, and you sit on the outside facing away. So the center is like this cushioned tower, right? And then a light tower on top of that, like a tree hanging down. That would be cool. I don't know. I just see so many different things and options, and I never forget this stuff. It's always up there. You know, the important shit I forget, but when it comes to my dreams, I never forget that shit. Especially after I start writing it down. I've lived it in my head, then I start writing this shit down, and it's just there. It just won't go away. Should I go away? Is it time for me to leave? It's almost 7 o'clock. I don't hear anything yet in the house. Should I stay or should I go? Should I? What should I do? Tell me. Totally. Because I'll tell you what, I got some stuff to do today. I gotta get some more dubage, I think. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna collect some more real estate information, I guess. Totally. And I am going to make a schedule, I guess, next, of people to talk to. I need to get all of my information all of my numbers and facts and everything printed out. And then I need to, taking your meds. Oh, that's cool. Get all my ducks in a row, and then be able to take those to different people and say, look, this is what I want to do. How can you help? This is what I want to do. How can you help? And hit up everybody, right? Hit up the tax lady and the bank and the small business people. All right, peace, man. I will see you tomorrow. I'm probably going to cut it off here anyway then. Take care of yourself. Love you. Have a good one. I won't see you tomorrow. I'll see you Monday, though. I might be here Monday, unless I'm just feeling crappy after the show. But I'll probably see you Monday. So take care of yourself. Think arcade. Visualize me in an arcade. Running an arcade all day. I'm going to get my daughter one of those little aprons and one of those little change makers filled with tokens. Right? Totally. Take care, man. Arcade. I need to get so far ahead on this. I need to get so far ahead on this that I don't talk about it here anymore. Because it's just, I'll need to get away from it. Right, Friday, dude. So I will see you on Monday. Like I said, unless I'm just out of it. Totally. Yeah. So I guess I'm going to load up my bat box for the day and then hit it and get it and do something today. Try to get something done. Something. There's got to be something. Right? I think. Therefore, I am what I am. Once again, we went through another day without picking an album of the day. Oh, Dubs. Oh, Dubs, what are you doing to me? Some kind of co-producer this guy is. Okay. Let's see. I am going to be back Monday. Barring being exhausted from the concert. So hopefully everything will be fine. If I'm not here, I'm not here, and you know why. So there you go. I will, I guess, have more updates on arcade progress. I actually built a sign. In my head, I built a sign for the arcade in just a few minutes. It takes a little art, but it takes more fabrication than anything. I just took sheet metal. I created the letters, capital letters, arcade, in wood. Big wooden letters, right? So I created these big giant wooden letters in my head, and then I took sheet metal and cut strips of sheet metal about a foot wide, long strips of sheet metal, and bent sheet metal around the letters, right? So now we have the wood with this deep metal box letter. And then inside, on the wood that is now covered with metal itself, I just have lights installed. So now each letter lights up as a light box, right? I can then put clear, milky white plastic light lens cover stuff from like ceiling lights. I can put that over it on the outside and then have colored lights on side, inside doing stuff. The concert is Sunday, so Sunday night, so I'll be coming home late, early Monday morning. So I'll probably pass out on the couch for an hour so that I don't have to harass my wife. Unless I'm wiped out, then I'm just getting into bed and I'm turning off my alarm and I'm done, and I'll see you Tuesday. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We shall see, we shall see. But, you know, I don't know. So, until Monday or Tuesday morning, I'm Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy. That's what I do. And until I see you again, have a great weekend. Take care, brother. Love you. Shit. That's the wrong one. No, that's the right one. Alright, people, take care of yourselves. You know what to do. Spread peace and love, not bullshit. Take care of yourselves. Do something for yourself, but do something for somebody else too. Why? Because it makes you feel good, makes somebody else feel good, makes the world a better place, makes you a better person. You know the routine. Thanks. I appreciate it. That's what the kids are going to call me at the arcade. Crazy. Yo, Crazy, what's up? There you go. All right, stay weird, people, because if you ain't weird, ain't nobody going to be weird for you. You got to do it. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the effort. I'm crazy because I think I'm going to make an arcade. So I got to be crazy. I don't have $1, but I'm going to make me an arcade. Hey, Gnomi, what's going on, man? I didn't realize you were going to show up, or I would have baked a cake. Yeah. All right, you guys. Take care of yourselves. I will see you Monday. So, you know, stop by a little earlier. Love ya. Take care of yourselves. And, oh, by the way, adios.